Hey everyone, Jordan here with 9 to 5 Toys, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Sennheiser GSP 670 wireless gaming headset. This headset is intended for use with a PC or PS4 and has Sennheiser's incredible audio quality and some other nice features built into it, so let's check it out. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. So first and foremost, this is a premium gaming headset. The price on it when it came out was about $350 on Amazon. Now it's down to about $318, so the price has come down a little bit. This did come out in 2019, but it still has some really premium features, and the best thing about this thing is its sound quality, which we'll get into here in a little bit. First up, let's talk about the overall design of the headset. Despite the largely black and dark gray color scheme, it's easy to tell what this headset is designed for. It has a very large profile and an equally huge microphone, so it's definitely not a subtle headset. When you put it on, you can see just how wide the profile of these are. I mean, it's a pretty large gaming headset. On the left ear cup, we find the micro USB port, which is used for charging and also for updating. We have a little slider switch, which if you slide it just down once, that will prompt you with how much battery life is left, and if you hold it down, that's how you can use to Bluetooth pair the headset, which we'll get into here in a second. And then we also have the microphone. As you can see, it just rotates here. It is attached. It is not removable. One nice thing, you can kind of hear that click. So as with a lot of the Sennheiser gaming headsets, when you push it down, it will unmute, and then if you push it back up with that click, it'll mute the microphone. So it's a really easy way to mute and unmute the microphone. On the right side ear cup, we find the volume dial, a chat volume dial, and a multifunction button. This multifunction button can be set up to either switch between EQ presets or toggle between surround and stereo sound. The volume dial on the GSP 670 is probably one of my favorite gaming headset volume dials that I've used. I know it's kind of weird, but I really like this one because it is large and very easy to find. It also has some nice resistance to it, so you don't feel like you're, going to be bumping it constantly and, changing the volume. And the other cool thing is this also acts as the on-off button. So if you turn it all the way down, it'll turn off. You just turn up the dial and it'll turn back on again and reconnect with the dongle. You don't necessarily need to use this volume dial to turn off the headset every time though. The GSP 670 will go into a standby mode if it doesn't get any audio. I briefly mentioned it earlier, but one of the other features on here is Bluetooth connectivity as well. So with Bluetooth, obviously you can connect to a phone or any other device, and that's really good in theory, but in actual practice, it's not as useful as what I thought it was going to be. The only way I was able to even enter pairing mode was to unplug the dongle from my PC, and once the voice prompt said that it was disconnected, then I could enter pairing mode on the GSP 670. Otherwise, holding down that slider switch did nothing to enter pairing mode. And then after I was connected to my phone via Bluetooth and listening to some audio, when I installed the dongle again into my PC, that wireless signal from the PC took over Bluetooth and I wasn't able to hear anything from my phone again. So that does expand the usability of the GSP 670 a little bit if you do want to use a Bluetooth connection instead of the PC connection. And despite its large design, it really is a very comfortable headset. You can see that it has a nice wide headband up here with a lot of padding on it, and then these really thick cushions on the ear cups that go over your ears. So I found it to be very comfortable. One other thing for comfort, these adjustable sliders up here are supposed to kind of change how much force it is or change the fit as it's clamping onto your head. I didn't really find them making that big of a difference when I tried adjusting the sliders. Both all the way up and all the way down, it still has quite a bit of clamping force, which helps make it feel really secure on your head. But it was never too much. I was wearing this for multiple hours at a time gaming, and it felt very comfortable. So how does the GSP 670 sound? Well, I think it's the best sounding gaming headset that I've used yet. It sounds really incredible. On paper, the frequency response from 10 Hz all the way up to 23,000 Hz is, really broad range. But then what that actually means in practice is that it sounds really full. The explosions, if you're playing an action game, pack a lot of presence because it can get down to those really low resonant sounds. But then you also get all of the clarity of gunshots coming through or footsteps, and it sounded awesome when I was playing games like the new Call of Duty Warzone. Everything is very clear without being, overly harsh or muddy on the high or low end. And you can make some changes to the EQ if you want within the Sennheiser Gaming Suite, which we'll talk about here in a second. But just with the flat profile, I was really happy with how these were sounding. Another requirement for a good gaming headset is, positional accuracy, so you can tell if something is on your left or on your right and be able to pick out different sounds. And I felt like the GSP 670 was very clear. I was really able to tell what direction footsteps were approaching me from, and I felt like it was really good for gaming. And one of the other benefits of this, we kind of talked about the clamping force. It has a really nice hold on your head while you're wearing it. But also because of that, there's pretty great isolation built into this headset as well. And so when you're playing any sort of music or any sort of audio, it does a great job of blocking out most of the background noise, so you can just focus on the sound in here. Another benefit to the isolation, besides just keeping you focused in the game, is that you don't have to turn the volume up as loud. So that's going to save your hearing in the long run as well. We took a look at the GSP 370 last year, which had an absolutely incredible up to 100-hour battery life, which is pretty unheard of. And the GSP 670 does not share that battery life. It's rated at about 20 hours, which was pretty accurate in my testing. I would use it for multiple days of gaming and not have to recharge it. And then the nice thing is that if you do have to recharge it and you're still playing games, you can plug it in via the micro USB and charge it while you're using it. Recharging goes pretty quickly, and you can get about 2 hours of battery life out of like a 7-minute charge. One of the other benefits of the isolation and not having to turn the volume up as loud is that also saves on your battery a little bit. If you don't have to run it at max volume, every single time you're listening to it, you can turn that down a little bit. That's going to help make your battery last a little bit longer too. So to make any EQ adjustments or update the firmware or anything on the Sennheiser GSP 670, you do need to go through the Sennheiser Gaming Suite, which we'll head over and check out now. All right, so here we are within the Sennheiser Gaming Suite. You can see it's connected, says 60% battery up here. We are on the settings tab. One quick thing to note, if it's not showing up in here, but you're pretty sure you have everything connected properly, click this check devices button and make sure that the GSA 70 main audio, make sure that this is a default device. For some reason, for the app to recognize it, it has to be a default device. So just make it sure. Sennheiser makes it pretty easy within this app by having a button for it there, but it's a little bit frustrating that you have to do that, but that's one thing to check if you're having issues. So within the suite here, let's go into the first tab, and this is where you can do all of your EQ settings. So by default, they have a few different modes in here. There's eSport, flat, movie, music, and PUBG. I don't remember if that was a default or if that was one that I put in there. But you can either change it through the app or this multifunction button here on the side. You can set that to cycle through presets if you want to do that instead of changing between 2.0 and 7.1 surround sound modes. So everything is really easy to change. You can just drag them up and down here. It's really easy to make any changes. And like we said, there is the 2.0 or 7.1 surround sound mode down here. You can just click between, or you can set that multifunction button to toggle between those. You can do a sound test where if you make some adjustments to your EQ, you can hit the sound test, which will go back and forth. It'll toggle back and forth between the new effects and then the default. So you can get an idea for what the changes that you've made are doing to your sound profile. So I'm going to set everything back to default on here, or flat, because I think it sounds great just in the flat profile. I usually don't use it with any changes on there. And then we'll go over to the microphone tab. And so here, there are quite a few different changes you can make. There is a gain button down here, gain dial. If you have this selected, you can adjust the gain and adjust the loudness of the microphone, which we are recording the microphone, so I'll switch over to that at some point so you can hear it. So you can turn that back up. I had it all the way up. I'll put it back there. You have side tone, which is the amount that you can hear your voice coming back through the headphones. So if you turn that up, you can hear a little bit more of yourself so that, maybe you're not yelling, because these do such a good job of isolating the sound. And then the other one is noise gate, which helps to, mitigate background noise. And one issue with this, it does feel like everything has a little bit of lag to it when you're making any adjustments on here. It takes it a little bit to actually make the adjustment in the headset so you can, hear what it sounds like. And then there is a ambient noise reducer as well. I typically don't have this on because there's not a whole lot of noise up here when I'm using the headphones, but that's something you can turn on. It has a couple different settings you can play with. And then over here on the left, there is a voice enhancer to modify your voice for the microphone. So we'll play around with that microphone sound a little bit so you can get an idea of what it sounds like. Here's the microphone with the voice enhancer turned off. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And here it is with the warm setting. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. In here we'll flip it to clear. It's now on clear. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. So like with most of these gaming headsets, I'm not a huge fan of how it sounds. I mean, that's something I've been critical with a lot of other headsets as well. It's no different with the Sennheiser GSP 670. They call it a broadcast quality microphone, but it just doesn't sound that great for a more natural voice reproduction, which is what I'm usually looking for a microphone. So if you can swing it using something like the Razer Siren emote, which I use for all of my voiceovers and I also use while gaming, that's just going to up your sound quality quite a bit. Obviously, these microphones are more geared for gaming and for clear comms, but it just doesn't do a great job of giving your voice, a natural sound when you're talking to your friends or if you're going to be recording any type of content. That being said, I did do a little tutorial on how to make gaming headsets sound a little bit better, so be sure to watch that video if you want some tips on improving the sound of your headset microphone. Alright, so wrapping up here, overall, the Sennheiser GSP 670 is probably the best sounding gaming headset that I've used yet. I'm really a big fan of the isolation that these ear cups provide because I don't have to turn the volume up as loud as some of other headsets that I've used in the past. It has a very full sound. It feels very immersive when I'm playing action games. And I like that you can tweak the EQ within the Sennheiser gaming suite, obviously. I also feel like it does a great job of separating sounds when I'm playing as well. So it's great for picking up footsteps, compared to explosions, and also be able to listen to communications as well. I'm not a huge fan of the microphone, but I did make a video on how to make some changes to a game set microphone to make it sound a little bit better. So be sure to check out that video if that's something that you're interested in. I'll link that down in the description. But I think that I am going to be using this headset quite a bit when gaming, just because of the sound quality, the clarity, and the isolation that the ear cups provide. I'm a big fan of all those factors. So what do you think of the Sennheiser GSP 670? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9 to 5 Toys.